Good morning. You're listening to Slices of Wenatchee. We're excited to bring you a closer look at one of our top stories and other important happenings every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Today, we hear from Gary Hesse, who spent nearly 30 years bringing characters to life at Leavenworth Summer Theater, including all 3 of their productions this year. Before we continue, have you joined Neighbor yet? If not, download the app today and join local conversations about issues that matter. Neighbor is a site just for our local community focused on facts, not misinformation. Best of all, it's free for everyone. To learn more, visit wenatcheeworld.com/NABUR. Now, our feature story. If you've ever sat in the audience at a live musical and wondered how it all comes together, today's episode is for you. With more than 25 years of experience at the Leavenworth Summer Theater, Gary Hesse has become a familiar and trusted presence in their productions. The Wenatchee World's Jessica Drake sat down with Gary to learn more about his path to the stage, what keeps him coming back to Leavenworth year after year, and the joy of helping tell stories that resonate with audiences of all ages.
So wonderful. On the phone here with Gary Hesse, who's just finished a rehearsal for The Little Mermaid, produced by Leavenworth Summer Theater. How are you doing, Gary?
I'm doing great. We're in the home stretch.
People should be getting their tickets and making their summer plans for a lovely day trip or weekend trip to Leavenworth and see a very popular musical. Who doesn't know The Little Mermaid?
Right. We've got 6 evening performances here at the Fest Hall, and we've got a couple of matinees also coming up for families that are going to find that to be a little easier for the kids that they want to bring along.
Well, you're quite the legacy actor there. I hear it's been many years that you've been on that stage.
Well, I guess that's true. I mean, I started way back in 1997 with a performance of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat that kind of got me jumped into theater at probably a comparably older age from most of the people that are involved in theater in the Valley. So I was in my mid-40s at the time I got started.
Well, luckily, in most of drama history, there's very good roles for adult men to play. I bet you've been cast in some excellent parts.
Oh, yeah. Over the course of a number of years, I've had a lot of great memories and wonderful roles to play.
What are your roles in this season?
Well, this summer in The Sound of Music, I'm playing Admiral von Schreiber. I kick off the von Trapp's running away from Austria by delivering his commission for the German Navy. In The Little Mermaid that's coming up here, I'm playing Grimsby, who is the guardian of the young prince who's going to be falling in love with Ariel. So that's what's happening in those 2 shows. In Carousel, play a joint character of Starkeeper and Dr. Selden.
Right. I saw the Carousel, final dress, and what a unique show. I listened to the soundtrack for the first time and watched the classic film, and it is a poignant story. In the film version, it's a different scene, but you're the Starkeeper, so you still play that role later in the play. Most people
Right.
probably haven't seen the film either, but I tell you, it's a powerful and moving story that still speaks to a tragic issue that's really about desperate men who struggle to be providers to their families.
Right. It was, I think, especially provocative at the time that it was released. There were a lot of families whose men had gone off to war and had come back and really were lost in terms of trying to get reintegrated into society and provide for their families. But even so, it still speaks to modern audiences as well in terms of men who are trying to identify their place in the world and making a lot of bad choices while they're doing so.
And it was a different world, a pre-feminist world, but there are men, and for various reasons, bad economies, out of work, and what does that do to the male ego and the women who love them and want to build a life together. So I find it very
Right.
contemporary and a much more dramatic take to see, even though the music itself is really lively. I mean, the June number and all of that, it still seems a very fun show to put on, but with serious nature. I bet you've had good conversations in the rehearsals about that character
Oh,
development.
there's a big, wide emotional spectrum, especially in Carousel, uh, in between the highs and lows of emotion that happened during the course of that particular show. And then The Little Mermaid has an entirely different feel. It is upbeat and lively, and although there are also some very poignant scenes between the mermaid and her father, it is definitely a feel-good story with a lot of humor.
Are you a Leavenworth local?
It's hard for me to determine if I'm a local or not. I lived in the Valley for 35 years, and then about 4 years ago moved to Vancouver, Washington to be closer to family. But I'm still coming up here to spend my summers. But it's a great combination of local actors here this summer and some tremendous professional level voices and actors that are joining us from literally across the country. We've got people here from New York, from Nashville, from California, Arizona. So it's uh, a wonderful combination of both local and distant actors that have come together to put these shows on for the summer.
So you're a professional actor in the summers. What do you do the rest of the year?
Oh, I'm retired the rest of the year.
Just spending time with family in Vancouver. That's where my great grandparents are from, and I have a mind to own the house that they built one day. I'd
Oh,
love a
well, there
base
you
in
go.
Vancouver. I did my 20s in Portland.
Yeah, well, we could be
Writing,
neighbors before you know it.
yeah, working in theater. So I share your passion for that. Do you get in to see shows pretty often?
Well, we try to. Portland offers quite a bit. There's not quite as much in Vancouver proper, but I'm looking to get involved in that local theater community as well if the opportunities arise.
And speak to the tradition of Sound of Music. Have you played a number of different roles in that over time?
Well, I've been privileged to play either as the primary or as the understudy to every adult male role in that show.
Did you say
So
everyone?
everyone at some point. I was able to finally check off my last net role this summer by having to fill in for an actor who had fallen ill suddenly, and we needed somebody to step up and portray that last one. So I have all my boxes checked for The Sound of Music. It's been going now for 30 seasons, so it's just a staple of the Leavenworth experience now.
What does it mean to you to carry on a tradition like that? It takes a huge amount of time and energy dedication to go through rehearsals of material that you're so familiar with. It must have
Oh.
a lot of meaning to you.
Well, I love the story. I have never grown tired of The Sound of Music after all these years. I love the opportunity that that story provides. I think for any moment and in any generation, because you have a group of people who are all confronted with the same crisis moment when Austria is faced with determining what their relationship with Germany is going to be at that time. And every character in that show ends up with a different kind of reaction. So it's a fascinating to see how uh, people and personalities interact with what's kind of an evergreen situation for us in terms of making moral choices.
I have a question that might require some thought, but it continues this line you're on in terms of it being an ever relevant story because there are so many different reactions. But over the years, since the 90s, I guess, how has it resonated differently? Like, were there points in history where it was like, wow, this feels like so on the nose, or other times where you noticed like a change? Any memories like that?
And probably not so much in terms of specific historical things that we've been working through. For me, it's really the opposite in that I think we're constantly faced with choices that we need to make in terms of the temptations that are placed before us as citizens of the world, and how we choose to embrace our relationships to power and to temptation, and how we move forward and make good choices in the face of that, and how we choose to make those choices. And the people in the story of the Von Trapp family are perhaps the one that have the most solid response of everyone in terms of knowing how they want to stay committed to their family and to their principles, so that they end up standing up to the Germans during the concert scene, and with the singing of Edelweiss, which was to evoke some strong national sentiment for them while they were, uh, you know, while they were faced with having to make an immediate decision about whether they would stay or go.
Wonderful perspective. That should encourage anyone to see it again, and everything new that comes along each season with Leavenworth Summer Theater. Well, thank you for entertaining us this summer, and I look forward to seeing you on stage. Thanks again for talking, Gary Hesse.
Oh, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate it. And we hope to be able to see everybody coming out to The Little Mermaid starting on Wednesday and throughout the month of August.
That was Jessica Drake with Gary Hesse. If you're inspired to see the magic firsthand, The Little Mermaid is on stage now. Performances run August 6th, 9th, 13th, 20th, and 23rd at 8 p.m., with matinees on August 2nd and 16th. Head over to leavenworthsummertheater.org for details and tickets. Are you passionate about the issues shaping North Central Washington? Then you won't want to miss the Wenatchee World Forum at Pybus. This monthly event brings together newsmakers and the community to dive into the topics that matter most. It's your chance to engage, ask questions, and be part of the conversation shaping our region's future. Have questions or need more info? Visit wenatcheeworld.com/forum. Now, a few other stories you should know about. In Leavenworth, the Upper Valley Mend Community Cupboard has already served over 1,200 families this year, nearly matching 2024's total. Rising grocery costs forced a temporary pause on key items like milk and eggs, but donations and food drives helped bring those back. Community support and produce from local farms have been crucial in keeping up with growing demand, especially as housing costs rise and tourism jobs remain unpredictable. Recreation areas across the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest are feeling the effects of a seasonal worker shortage, with some trails going unmaintained and basic services stretched thin. Forest Service employees are shouldering extra duties, often exceeding what's typical, to keep things running, especially in the most popular spots like the Enchantments. While closures aren't officially announced, visitors are noticing the difference as the peak summer season rolls on. Nearly 2 months after the murder of his 3 daughters, the search for Travis Decker continues. Authorities believe the former military service member may have fled deep into the wilderness, taking advantage of his survival training. Despite tips from across multiple states and assistance from U.S. Marshals, no confirmed sightings have been made. The investigation remains open, with a $20,000 reward still in place and officials hopeful that time might provide the break they need. Hiking season is peaking in the Alpine Lakes wilderness, and for those up to the challenge, the Enchantments remains a crown jewel of north central Washington. Rugged trails like the 16-mile trek to Snow Lakes reward hikers with wildflowers, mountain goats, and cold alpine waters. The Kolchak Lake route offers a slightly shorter, shadier option, while seasoned hikers may attempt a full through hike through the core enchantments. Permits are required, and though the journey is tough, the scenery is unforgettable. You can check out stunning trail photos at wenatcheeworld.com. Thanks for listening. For more information on all the stories you heard today, visit us at wenatcheeworld.com. The Wenatchee World has been engaging, informing, and inspiring North Central Washington communities since 1905. We encourage you to subscribe today to keep your heart and mind connected to what matters most in North Central Washington. Thanks for starting your morning with us, and don't forget to subscribe to Slices of Wenatchee wherever you listen to podcasts.